everybody out there in the Pajukan land. Welcome back to the PJ Campbell Network. Just happy to see you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Dipper, that's enough. Yeah, you guys can hear it. Dipper's barking. Give me just a second. Sorry, Maxwell. I got dogs barking here. It's a whole thing. How are you? You're muted. I can't unmute you.
I'm doing good. Let me just say, we try our best. We don't do too much Schmodown content here. We don't do after shows. We don't do reactions for many reasons. Some obvious, some simply because there's plenty of that and plenty who do it so well. So why should we do it? But I just have to say that for those who were lucky enough to just watch the pay-per-view match, without question, one of the greatest matches, in my opinion, in the history of the Schmodown. Two incredible competitors. Some of your finest work as a writer, and man, did they have to dive deep. It had everything to go on. It had drama. It had intensity. It had the highest level of competition possible. Just bravo to everyone. And for those who are joining us who did watch it, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, dude, number
as much as I did.
Thank you, because I'll say this here, and we can move on from it in a bit. The nice thing, this movie's 90 minutes, so we got some time to kill before we start it.
Yeah.
The Star Wars matches are entirely the hardest and most draining for me to write. Maxwell knows this. Maxwell has been around while I'm working on Star Wars, and it shouldn't be any surprise that up until a couple nights ago, I was literally the only one doing Star Wars, and Maxwell knows this. I was literally the only one writing Star Wars because I want to make sure it's good and specific and hard.
I don't think it takes a degree in movie trivia question writing to realize that in singles, you have 100 years of movie history to draw from.
Right.
Tens upon tens of thousands of films. In IG, you still have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of movies to draw from. Star Wars, you got 12, 11, 12?
12.
12? I know Clone Wars is in there. I don't count it as a movie. It is. Anyways. So at a certain point, you're going to have to dive so deep into the minutia that only the best of the best are going to be able to compete, and only the best of the best can come up with these questions.
Yeah, man.
So bravo. And as you can see here, we got team question writers. Question writers are amazing. PJ, you're amazing. So feel the love, enjoy, embrace it.
Yeah, no, and I'll be honest, that might be one of the greatest matches ever.
Yeah.
It's easily in the top 5, top 10, and also the Bibiani Oyama match is as good. And the thing is in any other match, that would be the headlining event, or any doubleheader, but not today, and that's the crazy thing. Someone like William Bibiani and Paul Oyama, who are 6 and 7 in the league right now, right back to back, is not the title headlining event. Because that Star Wars match dude, I don't know. I love Star Wars. You and I were talking about this. We were texting privately. We love Star Wars. I feel like I'm writing Greek.
I love Star Wars. I have a BB-8 tattoo. I have a Mandalorian hot toy behind me. We have a whole wall in our apartment devoted to different pieces of Star Wars art.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It might as well have been in Greek. You're right. The respect I have for anyone competing in the Schmodown, which, by the way, if you missed the announcement, I can officially say I will be competing in the first class league. But I will not be competing in Star Wars. That is not for me. I don't think IG is for me either. We'll see what happens there, but certainly singles, I'm going to try my best. I just have so much respect for the competitors, especially Star Wars, because the call signs, the details, the minutia, the dialogue, it's just incredible. It's not only just the amount of effort and time you have to put into it, but the passion and the love that these guys have, that Alex and DiMolanta and Molly and Nikki and Sully and Gold Leader and Lacey and all these new competitors and Thomas Harper, is that right?
Yeah, Thomas Harper. And
Adam Witt. These guys blow my mind on a constant basis.
And I've already seen pushback, and this is crazy to me. There are people that are saying that Dave Malanta just got lucky. There are people saying that Dave Malanta like robbed it. There was someone in the chat who said that I rigged the match. Shout out to that guy. Dave Malanta earned this win beat by beat. He threw a perfect 51-point game. 51-point game. That is not luck. That is goddamn skill. And that is not to say, like, Alex Damon had one day where he missed one question. These two are remarkable. These two are the best of the best.
If somehow, and this is so unlikely, if somehow Malanta had crushed Damon, if Damon was missing and didn't know it, okay, maybe something was going on. This was toe-to-toe. This was Rafael Nadal playing Roger Federer at the height of each of their careers on the Pro Tour. This was taking it to a full 5 sets, back and forth. It basically ended in an Iron Man match, and sometimes someone has to break.
Yeah.
And I believe once it gets to sudden death, you only get one JTE, right?
Correct.
So that played into it too. If Alex had a second JTE to use, he might have gotten there. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Alex is still one of the greatest of all time, and they got a rematch not too far away. And yeah, like Brandy said, he had to get the most points in a match ever to win. That is not luck. That is dedication. That is passion.
And look, I'll say this. That challenge he made, this is how good he is. That challenge he made is so good that we had to be like, yeah, he's right. Like, me and Nub worries about a lot of stuff, and they were both within a line. That's how well he knows these movies. That's dedication. Come on.
Yep.
Anyway. What a match. What a night.
Yeah. I'm still riding a bit of a high from that, but I'm happy to see people are here to watch. I wasn't sure after that, so thanks for joining us. Before we get started on this movie, which it's no secret is one of my absolute favorite movies. It was in my top 10 of the decade. Every time I watch it, I love it more and more and more. Mark sent in a 5150 super chat on the rundown. That's hilarious. Good night, Brandy. Thanks for stopping by. Feel better.
Brandy. Yeah,
we have some stuff coming up that we'll talk about real quick. The water cooler chat is back tomorrow afternoon at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. We'll be talking about the pilot / premiere episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'll be there. I think Dan 9, Eric will be there. Maybe a couple other people. PJ won't be there, and I'll tell you why. Because PJ is going to be hanging out with this guy whose name I can't remember for the life of me. Jesse Swift.
The great Jesse Swift.
On a show called Right or Wrong with PJ Campbell over on Jesse's channel, I assume?
Yes, on Jesse's channel.
So that's at 11 Eastern. So hypothetically, for the viewers, you can watch the first hour of that and then hop over to the water cooler chat as we talk Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then Sunday, the Unwind is going to be devoted entirely to talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. I am not going to be there because it is my wife's birthday and we have stuff going on. However, PJ will be there. Sully will be there. Tim Franco will be there. And then we got 2 special guests, David B. Music and Andres Gallego will be joining as well. So it'll be a stacked panel of great people to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I have so much to talk about, too. I'll just say this, and I'm sure you guys saw my tweets last night. I unabashedly loved Snyder's version of the movie, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, I'll say this real quick just because I'm not going to be there. I was not on the release the Snyder Cut train. I never once had that thought or tweeted it. There was a level of intellectual curiosity, only in so much as it's always a shame when an artist doesn't get to complete their vision because of studio meddling and other influences, particularly when you consider the tragedy that Zach's family faced. But there wasn't a world where I wasn't going to watch it out of curiosity, and it kind of blew me away. I was shocked by how much I loved it. I think it's by far Snyder's best film in the DCEU. I think it's a really singular work. I may actually write something about it because I haven't written an actual film review in a long time. I stopped writing film reviews for many reasons, but because I'm not going to be there, I have so much I want to say about it. I may put something down on paper, but as someone who was not like a huge Snyder cultist or fan or whatever you want to call it, Snyder bro, I loved it. I really did. And I'm surprised to be saying that, but here we are. Okay, Monday. We're doing a watch along of Wonder Woman. Woman Filmmaker Month continues. Wonder Woman by Patty Jenkins. This was selected by our wonderful executive producer Brandon Buckingham. Now, on Monday nights, Buck hosts a baseball podcast. So I think we'll be starting 30 to 40 minutes later than our normal time. I'll tweet it out on Monday to confirm the time, but that should be like 7:30 or 7:40 Pacific for the start for Wonder Woman. Tuesday is nothing, but Wednesday, my goodness, it is the massive 1-year celebration of the PJ Campbell Network. Not only are a good majority of the beautiful folks on screen going to be joining us, but we have put together a bevy of special guests from around the PJCN and Schmodown community. I said this before. I don't know how familiar you might be with StreamYard, but with StreamYard, you can only have 10 guests on screen at one time. We will be streaming live via Zoom because there's going to be a lot more than 10 guests. This can be real flexible, real casual. We may start a little early. And who knows, who's going to pop in when, who knows what we're going to talk about, but we just want to celebrate everything we've done here over the past year on the Pajukan. Of course, none of which would have been possible without the PJ in the PJCN.
So, I was going to say, yeah. I really didn't mean to do that because I look really cocky in doing that. I actually was doing it because I thought you were going to say to our patrons. And I was like, yes, we couldn't be doing it without our patrons. Like I was setting you up to be like, yes. And now I feel like a tool because I feel like I'm hyping myself up.
It did feel a little bit like that. And I'll get to the patrons.
Sorry, it just made me laugh. And I had to tell that story.
Thursday night, Front Center Mez should be back. A reschedule, not from our most recent guest, but from a guest you're supposed to have in January, Lance Rubin. He is a actor, a librettist, and a young adult author. It's going to be a really cool, a little bit different episode. I apologize again that we've had to reschedule so much, but as things start to open up more and other stuff happens, people's schedules are not as flexible as they once were, but we'll be back Thursday with that. If you haven't checked out the newest episode of Box yet, please do. My mouse is giving me trouble. It's called Drunk. It basically unfolds exactly as you would expect it to unfold. And yes, as PJ said, we do have a Patreon. We couldn't do any of this without our incredible patrons. Our executive producers, Brandy Parker, Brandon Buckingham, and Ricardo Franco. Our gold producer, Sean Wingblade. And all our producers, Mike K, Stephen White, The Youth Critic, Bedore, Jake Berlin, Anton Putra, Tyler Birch, Patricia Carrillo, Chris Pokernoy, She-Ra Potato, Molly Damon, Beth Harris, Ferris Muthana, and Jeff Alterman. Thank you all so much. We could not do this without you. And hopefully most, if not all of you, will be there at some point on Wednesday to celebrate the year of what's been going on. So,
what a year it's been, man. Like, I can't believe we're already here to this point, too. And there's all sorts of people who are going to show up. I can't wait. And I love our patrons. So thank you guys for helping us. We've said it before, and I'll say it again. This last year has been chaotic and crazy for all of us, and you guys have made it so much better and so much easier to handle a lot of it. So thank you guys.
PJ, you're giving away everything we're supposed to talk about on Wednesday.
You want to watch a movie, my friend?
I do. I very much, and I don't see Ricardo Franco here, and I feel bad that he picked this and he's not here, but hopefully he'll watch a replay or pop in later.
He said he was watching the replay at least because he did tweet at us earlier. I saw that.
Okay,
and Ricardo,
great.
We love you. Thank you for this.
We love you, Ricardo. Thanks for your support. Thanks for picking a movie I love very, very much. Yeah, if you've never been here before, welcome. If you have, welcome back. This movie is streaming on Netflix, by the way, so nice and accessible. My friend PJ here is going to count down from 5. He'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And then we will watch Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird, starring the wonderful Saoirse Ronan, Laurie Metcalf, Tracy Letts, Lucas Hedges, Timothy Chalamet, and on and on and on and on and on. So take it away, my friend.
One thing, and we'll kind of talk about it, and I was telling you before we came on, I'm going to count down, but this was shot in my hometown. Greta Gerwig grew up in Sacramento, and this is based on her life, so it's going to be fun. It's just going back to my hometown and seeing it. I'm going to be hanging with you guys, so let's do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play. Dipper, you are something special.
Oh, no.
You all right over there?
My thing is going all sorts of wonky, and it just started, so
Okay.
I'm going to be a little behind.
That's all right. That's right. Anybody who talks about California hedonism has never spent Christmas in Sacramento.
Joan Didion.
I am from Sacramento. This is like I'm Spartacus.
I want to say I love Allison Janney as an actress.
Me too.
But I feel Laurie Metcalf was robbed of her that Oscar that year. One of the things I love about this movie is it's only 90 minutes. And both because of the sharp writing and what's up, Sean? And incredible performances. It feels so lived in and human, and you just believe the relationships. It's really remarkable. From the get-go, the mother-daughter bond and complexity is established here.
And they're just so, like, everything about them together, they're so good, man.
They really are.
It's so funny, like, again, because I grew up in Sacramento, most people think California is so Los Angeles all the time, but it's like, no, this is what a lot of Sacramento and that area is like. It's very farmland. Like, people didn't believe that I went to like a school that was huge into FFA. Yeah, that's where I'm from. Like, cowboy town.
There you go.
Just saying.
Immaculate Heart.
How did I rate such a snob? You know what I really am happy about? Like, I may not watch the Connors anymore or like weekly all the time, but it gives us Laurie Metcalf on a weekly basis on television if you really want to see her act. And that's awesome.
I've seen her. I've had the pleasure of seeing her on Broadway a couple times because she pretty much comes once a year. She is legitimately one of the most incredible actresses on the planet, and she jumps out of the car.
Yeah.
And the editing from that to her in the assembly
church,
at school, and then the music and the credits start is just chef's kiss.
I mean, everything about this was one of the best directorial efforts debuts, like singularly, I'd seen in a while. Because she had co-directed.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But, I mean, like, singularly coming out as a solo director, it's a great film. I knew that you and I were both on the same page with that, by the way.
And, you know, I think this film, not Little Women, which I also think is incredible, was my favorite movie 2019. I think this movie has some similarities to the tone Noah Baumbach achieves in his movies, which of course they are together. But she has such her singular tone and voice, anyways.
Right.
I always love that she's in it too. Catherine Newton.
Yeah.
And
There's a
of course,
great casting in this.
the
Jake
great
McDormand
Beanie Feldstein.
and Jake McDormand from Limitless, the TV series.
Yep.
Yeah, like just great character actors, great. Oh, such a good cast.
This actress here playing the teacher nun is Phyllis Smith, who is Tony nominated for her performance in The Inheritance.
That you
I
produced?
am also Tony nominated for The Inheritance. So, her and I have that in common. I love the posters.
I know. They're so good. Do we have that here? Sean, you did not grow up on a farm. Quit trying to steal my line. Oh man, I love San Francisco Reefism. I used to drive down there pretty frequently for concerts because it was about an hour and a half to 2 hours from Sacramento, depending on traffic. And so once I became a teenager and I was able to drive, I was always going to concerts in San Francisco, and so many great bands. Like I saw Black Sabbath, I got to see Coheed, Rise Against, the Chili Peppers down there, like Ozzy. So many adventures.
I find the friendship between Lady Bird and Julie so real.
I do too. It's everything about this movie is very human, and that's a word I feel like we can use a lot with this movie, but that's why it works. It's very human.
I love that Lady Bird, the character, not the movie, has this sort of sarcastic streak about her that feels so perfectly teenagery.
Not wrong. Don't be a Republican. Wasn't it Bibiani who voted that line of the decade a couple of weeks ago?
It's a great line. I use that GIF or image with the caption quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Reefism. I used to go down to the pier a lot. They're great seafood down at the pier. Also, San Francisco clam chowder and sourdough bread together. There's nothing quite like it. The closest that has it is actually California Adventure because they do a pretty good. The bread is imported.
I do love soup in a bread bowl.
Yeah, I don't have it very often anymore, but I do love it so much. God, I'm so nostalgic right now seeing my hometown. I can't tell you guys how many times like I would just like wander these streets and go to basketball games.
This movie has an incredible sense of place.
Yeah.
And for somewhere I've never been before, it you can feel the love and appreciation, and you can feel that it's someone who knows Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
I love Tracy Letts so much. You know, Tracy Letts is also a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and a
Yes,
Tony Award-winning actor.
And he's going to be he's directed before, hasn't he?
A little bit.
Yeah. Very
and do you know who his partner is? I do.
I don't know off the top of my head, no.
Carrie Coon.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right.
Actually, if you will indulge me
Mm-hmm.
in an interview. The New York Times has been interviewing different creators about what they've been doing and the work they've accomplished during quarantine, lockdown, the pandemic, right? So this was Tracy's comment, which I related to a lot. I've made nothing. On 4 separate occasions, I arranged my schedule with my wife, Carrie, so I could have 6 uninterrupted hours a day to write. All 4 times, I emerged from my office after 2 or 3 weeks, rattled, defeated, feeling lousy about myself. My wife finally said, here's what you have to do. Read books, watch movies, cook dinner, and take care of our boy. That is what I've done. And while my family is my focus and my joy, from a creative standpoint, this year for me has been a dust storm. I'm normally involved in a number of creative endeavors in different forms, but the theater is my lifeblood, and I don't know who I am without it. The plug getting pulled on the minutes was truly devastating for me. I feel like a heel even saying that, since so many people in this country and around the world are suffering as a result of this pandemic in ways I can't even fathom. But it's a simple truth. I can't do the computer theater. It's too depressing for me, and I've turned down a couple of on-camera jobs because I am just as scared of this virus as I was a year ago. Creatively, I'm lost. It's why I'm doing this interview. I'm guessing there are some other artists who identify.
I relate to that very hard.
I know it was a long answer, but
no, it's awesome.
Tracy Letts is one of my favorite people as a playwright, as an actor, and so, you know, I've been trying to write so much this year and just coming to a failure, and to hear that someone whose work I admire and respect so much.
Yeah.
Tracy wrote this play called The Minutes, which it started previews on Broadway in early March. I was actually able to see it, but obviously it shut down. I can guarantee you one thing, PJ. When it reopens, one of its cast members will not still be in the cast, because the lead, other than Tracy himself, was Armie Hammer.
Ooh. Yep, that's Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you know.
I'm almost positive my first Saoirse Ronan film was Atonement. That might even have been her first film.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be...
Oh, I was going to say that I'm pretty sure that was her first film, right? Or at least because she was found by Peter Jackson, I think.
Well, Atonement was directed by Joe Wright, and that was before Lovely Bones.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking we were still talking about Lovely Bones.
No.
That was my apologies. You're right, though. Yes, Atonement, I believe you're right, though. Joe Wright. She's so good.
By myself. I legitimately think in 20... I mean, already, but in 20 years, we'll be talking about Saoirse Ronan the same way people talk about Meryl Streep now.
I agree.
I think she's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. She already has 4 Oscar nominations, and she's certainly younger than we are.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
I think she's going to have a very long-lasting impact on film in a lot of really cool ways. She reminds me of Audrey Hepburn in that way, too. Someone who could do anything at any time and leave their mark.
The musical they're doing in Lady Bird is Merrily We Roll Along by Stephen Sondheim. Richard Linklater is currently in production on a Merrily We Roll Along film. I love Lucas Hedges, sorry. One of the conceits of the story is it's about creatives working in the theater, and you visit them at 3 separate occasions 10 years apart. So 10, 20, 30 years, and charts their course in inner dynamics. So Richard Linklater, remember, this guy made Boyhood and the Before movies, is filming each section 10 years apart from each other.
Who are the leads in that again?
And that is the coup d'etat.
That's what I was going to say.
Or rather, the coup de grace, not coup d'etat.
I just want to make sure.
One of the leads is Beanie Feldstein.
Yep, who's right in front of us right now.
One of the other leads is Ben Platt.
Yes. Richard Linklater is continually one of the great talents working in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And we should sing his praises much more often.
And the funny part, too, is Ben Platt and Beanie Feldstein went to high school together and are very close films.
Close friends?
Close friends, yes.
You said films, and I was like,
Well, they are, because they're in one together.
That's true.
I think Lucas Hedges is an incredible actor, PJ.
Yes.
Have you seen Ben is Back with him and Julia Roberts?
Yes. Oh my god, dude.
That is, I think it's on Hulu. His performance in that and Julia's performance in that are extraordinary. But anytime he shows up, I'm happy. He was Oscar nominated, of course, for Manchester by the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
And a really funny thing is, he's in this movie with Timothy Chalamet.
Timmy. We call him Timmy here, though.
Timmy C?
Yeah, Timmy C.
By the way, I met Timmy C at the opening night for The Inheritance, so it just all keeps coming back to there. What was I saying? Okay, Timothy Chalamet and Lucas Hedges, whose I think careers have sort of run concurrently. They went to high school together. They went to LaGuardia High School, where one of our front center Mez guests, Christina Saju, also went to high school.
Keep coming around. Hey, Keon, what's up, man?
I thought you were going to sleep, Keon. So, the actor here who plays the drama teacher, Stephen McKinley Henderson, is such an incredible actor. I saw him on Broadway many times. Every time he shows up, I'm happy. He is brilliant.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the all-time great character actors, in my opinion.
He's
or
fantastic.
At least our generations, because there's certain character actors of every generation. We were having this conversation with,
and he shows up. He's in Fences. He's in Lincoln. He was on that show Devs on FX Hulu. He's in Manchester by the Sea as well. He was on The Newsroom. He's just incredible. And I think his character in this is so funny.
So Chris Clark is just starting to watch the Bibbs Oyama match, and he posted in our channel chat, "Watching now, Bibbs I know won. Just want to see how bad he beat Paul." Oh, Chris.
Nope.
Sweet Chris.
So I really want to like Tower Heist, and then I remember who directed it.
Yeah.
But I do like some of his other movies. Like, I have a soft spot for After the Sunset.
And I love Rush Hour.
Rush Hour.
Although Maxwell and I both revisited the Rush Hour movies and realized
they have not aged well in many ways. They are very racist. Very, very racist. I watched them in very early on in COVID in last April, let's say. And I'm like, PJ, these are real fun, but whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's Jake McDornan.
Yep.
Who starred on the Limitless TV show and who was also on one of my favorite shows, Greek.
And he has a small appearance in what fourth film in an action franchise? It's a tough question, I know.
It's got to be Live Free or Die Hard.
It is, in fact. He's the guy that's with Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the car at the beginning of the movie. He's in the trailer. You told me your dad was dead.
He was only in one episode, but I thought he was great on the Watchmen TV show.
Yes.
And also he was on the first couple episodes of What We Do in the Shadows. And I haven't watched it yet, but he's one of the stars in the Disney Plus The Right Stuff.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that new one yet. I really want to.
Keon said, It's so funny, Keon, because PJ and I were also texting about Ace
Yeah.
Ventura today because they announced the third movie. Went down a rabbit hole, discovered it was also renamed Alice Ventura for Whoopi Goldberg. I'll say this: the original Ace Ventura is one of my favorite comedies of all time. However, one element, you want to talk about Rush Hour aging poorly, one element of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective has aged so poorly that it makes me cringe just thinking about it, which is why when people say, what's your favorite 90s Jim Carrey comedy, my answer is Liar Liar. I'm not including like Truman Show and Man on the Moon
Yeah.
as more serious works, but I love Ace
I
Ventura.
do too.
But
And the second one is also not aged particularly well.
yeah,
But I still am curious what they'll do with a third. I'm especially excited by the fact that it's being done by the people who did the Sonic movies, only because it means that they have a good relationship with Jim Carrey. The other interesting thing about this is it's an Amazon movie. It's not being done at Warner Brothers like the first two.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It really makes an
I mean,
infinitesimal amount of sense.
especially coming off of Coming to America, which I'm assuming must have done very well for them.
From what I heard, and I don't want to misquote, but and this data is unofficial. I just love her screaming after that party.
Yeah.
So it's not official data. It's done by a service like Nielsen that uses like social media chatter and all this other stuff to determine that in the past 12 months from its release, Coming to America was the most watched new streaming movie all year, beating stuff like Mulan, Soul, and Borat.
I believe that. That's crazy. But I mean, look, even my parents have already watched it, right? Like that tells you something, and they don't go out of their way to watch a lot of the stuff on streaming.
I have not, for some reason. I kind of forgot it existed, but I'm going to watch it this weekend.
Keon, you know what's funny is I actually quite like Dumb and Dumber 2, but the caveat is the big caveat for me is I actually saw it at a test screening before it came out, and so I actually went in with no preconceived notions of what it was. The only thing I knew is it was the movie, and having no expectations, it really kind of filled me with a lot of joy, and I have a lot of fun with it. So,
I think heading back to Lady Bird, which is what we're watching.
Yeah, sorry, we're like,
no, it's okay. That's what we do. This isn't one of our commentaries. This is a
hangout,
watch along. I think this film paints a uniquely relevant portrait of the modern American family compared to a lot of other movies. Obviously not necessarily the most diverse, but in terms of their financial struggles, their jobs, the dynamics between them, it feels very authentic and relevant to today's society. Imagine a guidance counselor laughing at you.
Right. Yeah, I think about that a lot because you know I just started going to therapy, and I've made that no real secret or anything, but I always have that fear of like kind of like the guidance counselor thing of someone laughing at you when you're telling them like your deep secrets and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It just that thought terrifies me, honestly.
So, there are so many reasons I love this movie. Everything is done so perfectly, but the way they do Lucas Hedges' character feels really true to me as well.
Agreed.
Partly from similar experiences and from the experiences of very close friends. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it before, but the way that character's arc unfolds.
Keon, I'll say this, not to like totally go back out the other direction. The original opening for Dumb and Dumber 2 was even funnier to me, and I think that's a part of it too. Is I can remember that. And I can say it here. Like I've talked to Maxwell about this, and I like the new live action Mulan a lot, but I have a hard time putting past. I actually saw it at a very long before it came out test screening, and it was a very different movie when I saw it. Don't go running with anything. I'm not
Release the PJ test screening cut.
Right? I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to get in trouble. But like, you know what I would call the cut if I could, Maxwell. I'll text you. I'll text you. I think you'll know what I would call it.
It's normal to not touch a penis, PJ.
This is true.
It's funny that Beanie is in both this and Booksmart, which made my top 10 of 2019. I think the two movies are basically the same movie, although Booksmart is more of a raunchy comedy and this is more of an art film, but they're so the progressive and hilarious and witty. It's just
Thrift Town.
I'm mad at you, PJ.
Because of what I said?
No. Look in the group chat.
Oh, yeah, the thing that I know.
I tried really hard not to let you see it. I told everyone not to show you, but look at my follow-up. So look at my follow-up.
I saw that too, and I commented back. But I'll say this: you know why I saw it? Someone tagged me, and then
goddamn! All right, look, let's talk about something here, people. By the way,
oh man,
I apologize, especially to Ricardo. This is going to be one of our most off-topic watch-along ever, but
it's a little off.
I love this scene while they're dress shopping. It breaks my heart in so many ways, but I have had these conversations with my mom when I was this age so many times. Okay. People. This goes out to all people.
Oh, man.
If you see someone shit posting on Twitter and said shit poster did not tag the people they are shit posting about, do not go up in their mentions and tag the person who's being shit posted. Number one, why would you want someone to see them being shit on? Number two, if the person who tweeted it in the first place wanted to have tagged them, they would have. So let's have respect for everybody and don't tag people who weren't tagged to begin with. Back to Lady Bird.
That was a really beautiful soliloquy that I kind of just want to cut out and post on the internet for people to see.
Go for it.
It's a great bit of advice. That's what we need more of in 2021. I can't tell you just how many houses in that area are exactly like this, down to even like the carpeting and stuff, because again, it was all shot where I'm from, and this is exactly what this town feels like. The city feels like this. Like and again, I know it's all shot there, but it's weird for me because I've been in those houses, like that look, that feel. I can almost smell what the inside of those houses were like being up there. So it's just a very weird thing for me.
The way how Miguel is dressed. So funny. This kills me. The tracks thing.
My grandmother would love this dress.
Laurie Metcalf is a queen.
Yep.
she's in another one of my favorite movies, Scream the Second.
This is true.
And she is incredible. I love that his house is the house that she had walked by before and was dreaming about living in.
Yeah, and that the way she stops, this is your grandma's house? It was just so good.
Yep. Don't be a Republican. Theater nerds are my favorite kind of nerds. Because this was high school. Go from a fancy party, put on your other clothes, and sing Sondheim on the way there. We'd have to kill them, PJ.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet.
Small concert shows and stuff were some of my favorite things, man.
To me, you know who Timothy Chalamet feels like the second coming of to me?
Who?
River Phoenix.
I could see that, absolutely.
You know, because if you look at Call Me By Your Name and say My Own Private Idaho.
Very similar.
Although that movie has been rendered almost unwatchable now because of who stars in it. But
yeah. And there goes that sequel probably, too. Because I was actually really hopeful for that sequel.
For that one, they could just recast.
That's true.
I smoked cloves in college.
Yeah, I smoked cloves in high school quite a bit.
The Jerem Blacks. So bad for you.
Yeah. I remember cloves, man. Cloves were the days.
Actually, you know who smokes cloves?
Who?
Finstock.
Oh, that's true. We talked all about that.
With him while he was smoking one.
Yeah. That was a good night.
That was a great night. So one of my all-time favorite jokes / moments in the history of cinema is about to happen. So they're doing this just wildly below average production of Stephen Sondheim's Merrily We Roll Along. The costumes are offending my sensibility. The set design is piss poor. They can barely sing on cue. Beanie Feldstein is playing the same role she's going to play in the actual movie, which is beautiful. These costumes are better here. Oh, and that other actor, the other kid, was on the Scream TV show, PJ.
Oh, yeah.
Which I really liked.
Those first two seasons, I never
the first
saw
two seasons. It was not good.
Yeah, I heard that one.
But the first two seasons and then like the wrap-up movie on the island.
Yeah.
Great stuff. I think it's on Netflix. They're at the after party after the musical. After that speech I just gave about the musical. And we're about to cut to the director of the play. We're almost there. Here we go. He's looking around at his audience. And he says they didn't understand it.
Oh,
If that ain't the most theater thing that ever theatered,
not
kills
wrong.
me. What?
I was gonna say, I mean, not just theater, like even movies, right? How many
Yeah.
directors probably?
Oh, this part.
Yep, the reveal. The Beanie Feldstein's like, I don't know what to say.
The look on her face.
Yeah,
And they're listening to Crash, which is like so perfect.
you know, Beanie Feldstein's just a great actress, and she's like,
She is.
to me, she might be one of the greatest. I don't know. I guess like just someone to pair someone with. I don't know what else to really say because like if you even look at Booksmart and how great she was in that too, and like that friendship there.
Booksmart is an amazing film.
Yeah.
I said earlier, I don't know if you missed it. Booksmart and Lady Bird are like two peas in a pod.
Oh yeah, dude, they're absolutely they
Like
go
they're the
so well together.
perfect double feature.
Yeah, a lot of people say that if you're going to do a double feature, it would be Booksmart and Superbad, but I think that Lady Bird and
Booksmart and
Booksmart,
Lady Bird, yeah.
yeah, I think it's a much better pairing. I mean, I get the obvious with Superbad, but I think that these are much more kindred. That's the best way to say it.
Them
Talk about
laughing over the pillow is so human. It makes me laugh. So I love that her and her father have this little like secret understanding where he's helping her with the applications and her mom wasn't.
right.
You know what else I think this film excels at? And
Hmm.
you know, I said at the beginning it's 90 minutes and it does a lot of really smart stuff. You really feel the passage of time.
Yeah.
You know, this
That
really feels like her entire senior year of high school, which is not necessarily easy to do in 90 minutes.
and you
Or
never
in
feel
some,
like,
I've seen some 3-hour films where the passage of time doesn't
well,
work.
and I mean even to that point, like you never feel like you're missing anything either. And that's remarkable. Like it's so easy to feel like you're missing something when something time jumps or moves.
Yep,
You don't feel that here.
I agree.
Hella tight, hella tight. That's some NorCal language.
I was gonna say that I love that. It makes so much sense in the context here.
Yeah.
Itchy.
I don't think I've ever said hella tight out loud in so long until this moment.
But PJ's like, but I thought it.
But I thought it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hella's a great word, all right? Don't judge me.
Lunches.
Wait, what? What? What were you winning?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Lady Bird. Those 3 potential prom themes in used together is it's like Eternal Flames and movies. And I love that there's a new director.
Yeah.
And the way he blocks the play by using like
Yeah, because he's
coaching
clearly he's a coach, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to coach a sports team, and it's a great kind of true thing about Sacramento and like Northern California, because so many of the dads are those like sports dads. Because we have the Kings, we're close to the A's, we're close to the Giants. Like sports is huge in Sacramento. Even our college football team. That's I believe actually
It's
John David Washington played for them.
I hate it when there are teams across 2 or more of the major sports that have the same name. So like for the Kings, you have the Sacramento Kings who are in the NBA, and then you have the LA Kings who are hockey.
That's just LA fucking with us too, because they hate
Probably
because the rivalry of the Kings and the Lakers goes way, way back. So down with the Lakers. Sorry to any Lakers fans out there.
I'm not a big NBA guy, but if I pick a team, I pick the Knicks, of course.
They're my number 2. I get it.
I feel bad for Knicks fans because they're so bad. Not so bad this year from what I saw, actually.
It still hasn't been a great year, but they're doing better than they normally do.
We're singing. The way he screams, "You coming hot?" Dead.
Hella tight.
Hanging out in parking lots is so teen.
High school. The way she jokes, "I'd fucking kill your family." She's trying to be so cool, and you're like, oh my god. Yeah, do you remember hanging out in parking lots as teenagers?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was a theater kid, so like we hung out at the theater or like in the theater room. But yeah, parking lots a little bit.
I mean, it checks out for me considering I said I smoked cloves all through high school. That was me. Like I was like the more rebel kid.
You were Timothy Chalamet.
A little bit, yeah. My hair was long. You've seen those pictures.
He's not wrong.
They have such impeccable chemistry, by the way. Like,
which is why
they're in. Yeah, they
reuniting them for Little Women, which was also Greta, of course. But I think they're both extraordinary in that movie. Again, Greta Gerwig is 2 for 2 for me in such a big way. Both of her movies are masterful. My favorite movies of their respective years.
The crazy thing for me about Little Women too is when they announced she was doing that, and she had said it was a passion project. I was like, all right, fine, benefit of the doubt, but like, boy, do I not think we need another adaptation of this, because the other one's not. But I got past it and I watched it, and it was like, no, this is why we needed another one, and that's why you can't ever judge that stuff because you have to.
I saw Little Women like 5 or 6 times in theaters.
Yeah, but more
And they were playing it on 35 millimeter on an actual projector here in New York, which was beautiful.
I'd already unfortunately left Los Angeles, so I
Right.
didn't get the chance.
You can't be scary and warm, BJ.
It's true.
As a Lakers fan, we don't apologize for 17 NBA championships, BJ.
You know I have mod powers here, right, Reefism?
So do I. So I'll just undo whatever you do, BJ. I love this. The way he's crying and she's holding him.
Yeah.
And the I won't tell it's so perfect. Like even the small supporting characters in this movie are richly drawn and relatable and so beautifully performed. I mean, that acting from Lucas Hedges just there was resplendent.
I also really want it noted, Saoirse Ronan's also a really gifted comedian. Like anyone who saw that episode of SNL that she did,
she was great.
She was incredible.
And she's hilarious in Grand Budapest Hotel. And her and Timothy are reuniting again because they're both in Wes Anderson's next film, The French Dispatch.
Yep. Davis. Oh, Davis.
Timothy and Saoirse are like the new Kate and Leo, but if Kate and Leo did 4 or 5 movies together after Titanic.
Yeah.
She is being kind of racist, but...
Oh, yeah. Yep. See, agricultural school, because Sacramento, Davis. That's that area, man. you learn so much about all of them, though, in their interactions, too, man.
But the way she yells, you'll never get jobs with all the shit in your face.
Oh, yeah. And then him, like, touching his face. Good moment. Hand-rolled cigarettes. It's the most hipster thing ever. Hand-rolled cigarettes. I knew people who did the same thing.
You know what movie Saoirse is also incredible in and was one of my favorite movies recently?
Which one?
Brooklyn.
Oh, dude, Brooklyn is
stunning.
Stunning. Yeah, that is the perfect word for it.
And she's good in Hannah, too.
I don't love that movie, but I think she's really good in it. I need to revisit it. It's been a little while since I've seen it, but I wasn't blown away by it the first time I saw it.
Okay.
I wanted to check out the TV show, though, which I haven't seen yet.
I keep seeing advertisements for it, but I haven't watched it.
Is that Joel Kinnaman?
Sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's right. You know what I can't wait for, by the way, is the Suicide Squad. This whole scene is just...
The tanning bed.
Yeah.
That's such subtle filmmaking, but all you had to know was her toe curl.
Yep.
The way she says all that. Her performance, Laurie Metcalf in this is one for the ages.
Yep. The way that this conversation is playing out is so fantastic too.
I don't know to what extent this movie is autobiographical for Greta.
Mm-hmm.
But the way these relationships with daughter and mom unfold, it has to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Greta's a great actress too.
Yeah, she is.
I love her in 20th Century Women, Frances Ha, especially.
That's got a great Criterion release if you guys don't have it.
Frances Ha?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it. Love it. I think also the time she chose to set it in the early 2000s lends credence to the fact that it might have some level of audio or autobiographicness.
Yeah.
Because that's about when she would have been. Like, she's about the same age as us.
Yeah, I honestly have always considered it pretty autobiographical because I think she even kind of said as much when she was doing the press. Like, not a hard autobiographical, but, you know, definitely influenced by her time growing up there. And I've never related to a I need to get out of Sacramento line harder ever in my life.
Well, you know what? You made it out.
I did. I will never say it was soul crushing. It was a beautiful place. And I mean, our good friends still live there. Brian Avalosino and Jake Berlin.
Okay, now this is another line that has become like memed to death, but I love it.
It's the titular role.
I saw this movie in the theaters many times. Probably 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
There's one time I laughed so hard when she said it's a titular role, I fell out of my chair.
The way she says it
literally.
I love that. That makes me so
I don't
happy.
remember what I was watching. The hardest I've ever laughed in a movie theater, I was at stadium seating, and I laughed so hard, I fell into the row in front of me.
That's incredible.
Thank God no one was sitting there.
That is incredible.
I sort of leaned forward, laughed, and like tumbled.
I 100% can remember. I think it was Anchorman and Dodgeball was some of the hardest I'd ever laughed in a movie at that time, and I legit like at one point was on my knees hitting the chair in front of me laughing. That was the best.
I love this.
Yeah,
the abortion scene.
Yeah. Oh, this is fantastic. And again, she's so great, man. That line, we wouldn't have to sit through this stupid assembly.
Horrible.
So terrible.
Horrible.
Oh God, this whole sequence, man. Lori Metcalf, man.
And the way this dialogue is not only about what Lady Bird did, but it shows her the mom's insecurities.
Yeah.
It says as much about her as it does about Lady Bird.
Yeah.
What a teenager thing to say.
No.
And the way the dad is just sitting there sort of like caught in the middle of this.
Yeah, and like, how do you handle that situation, you know?
So Matt Lauer is obviously a piece of shit. And we just saw him on the TV in here. But imagine how many movies there are where Matt Lauer was in it as himself. Because he was the guy.
He was the. I mean, I've said it before. Like, I think we've talked about it on here because we watched Miracle on 34th Street. But I always watch the Macy's Day Parade every year. It's always been a thing for me, and for so long, dude. Like, he was a big part of that. So that was a weird thing too, you know. Like,
this part. That she lied about her house, and it's just hurts. Apology accepted, I guess. Teenagers.
I know, man. That whole scene is so very real, and just feels like something that would happen. You know what I mean?
If they were ever to make a Green Day biopic,
Timothy Chalamet.
he's your guy to play Billy Joe.
I don't think you're wrong.
Oh boy. The first match in the first class league has been announced, BJ.
Oh, who is it?
It's Cooper Barnes versus David Campbell.
Interesting. You got some competition out there that you're going to have to start keeping an eye on.
Indeed. This is one of the most awkward sex scenes in the movie, but it makes so much sense.
The nosebleed now of all.
Yep. The 33 seconds of sex following the note with the nosebleed is just like, oh, how embarrassing does it get?
Right. Oh God, the way he just drops that.
Six people. I think you might have made an assumption. He's such a jerk.
I know, he's just like after all of that, and he's such an asshole.
Oh.
Different things can be sad. It's not all war is such a line.
Such a good line and so true.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're reflecting and being sad about something personally doesn't mean you're not also caring about society's injustices.
Yeah.
It's not always a sadness competition.
And then again, what a fucking teenage moment. Like, it's all over, and it's, so are we still going to prom together?
Yep. I think what's so great about this mother-daughter relationship is that even though they antagonize each other as so many teenagers and their mom do, when it comes to these moments where they need each other, they're there for each other. It's love. It's, it's not just one way. And that, I think, is reflective of a lot of parental relationships.
I don't disagree even a little bit.
You could say, go fuck yourself in 1 second, and then sometimes you need your mom, or your dad.
Yeah.
This is such a great activity. Home shopping for houses just for fun.
Yeah. One of my favorite things when I was younger was to go into houses when they were still being built and walk around like the skeletons of the houses.
Yeah. I think nothing does a better job of giving this movie a sense of time and when it takes place is the way the Iraq War is sort of like weaved underneath when they're watching TV in different places with what Hella Tight Boy was saying.
Hella tight. I really like the music right here too.
Me too.
Like it's just such a vibe, and just her reaction, so good, man.
Well, she got on a wait list. So awkward that the guy interviewing him is an idiot. Doritos. The way he says Doritos there is just perfection.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, the Doritos. Yeah, to see that they're going up for the same position is so awkward.
Oh God. Yeah, that's father and son ending up going for the same job is so complex.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene.
Yeah. Oh, this whole thing is brilliant.
Yeah. And I think that's what this film is. How much Greta loves Sacramento.
I don't disagree, and that's part of what I like about it is it makes me remember why I love Sacramento. You know what I mean? Like I said, I mean I'm from there, man.
You know what? I love the idea of Sacramento. So that'll have to do because I ain't never been there.
I would say we should go and visit sometime, like for fun, but I can't think of there being a reason to do so. Like as much as I might love where I came from, I don't need to go back. Is that weird? Well, I guess we could go see Jake and Brian though.
Or we could go see Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
That's true.
These prom dresses are so ugly. She is giving her an eating disorder. I agree. Ugh. Oh, that one's really nice. I mean, cheesy and prom dressy, but
yeah,
she looks nice. There's a difference. She can't even say it. The original screenplay Oscar for the year of release 2017, but the 2018 Oscars was so tough because you had Jordan Peele for Get Out going up against Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, which are two such uniquely different from each other but brilliant screenplays. Jordan Peele won.
And what a screenplay that movie has too.
Oh, incredible. But just the fact that you have two such rich and it's just tough. Sometimes it's just about who you're going up against.
Yeah.
So awkward.
I know. The way the camera pans on her, man.
And that crash is playing.
Yeah.
Dave Math. It's just. And then, of course, he had to say that.
Just the way that this plays out.
The fact that in the back she said, "Who's Julie?" and then she says, "She's my best friend."
Yeah.
This is when I start crying in this movie.
It's just so beautiful.
Julie.
Why are you crying? What a line.
Sometimes it's just crying. Oh, that line too.
Yeah.
Some people aren't built happy. That is a truth right there. They hate all the cheese. See, that this to me is true friendship. Laughing over blocks of cheese and just giggling.
Yep. This is the kind of shit
for months.
This is the kind of shit you get into with your friends when it's just like giggly nonsense, and that's a good thing, man.
And then here we are at the prom, and they're dancing together, and it's so sweet. It kills me. And then they take the photos together. And the look on the nun's face.
Oh, it's so good. You know what else this would pair well with is Sing Street.
It would. There's a similar energy.
Yeah, similar energy, similar vibe.
You can totally be quiet during it. That's so funny.
State Fair, yes. The State Fair was the best, you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I looked forward to that every year. Just that whole like they're not going to be able to spend the summer
have
together.
Their last summer together.
In that bridge, guys, that's right in the middle of downtown Sacramento, and it's so beautiful.
What's up, Wing Ladies? Sacramento's my jam. I miss a State Fair. Oh, Buck, what's up, Buck? Welcome.
Buck, Buck was the first person, by the way.
Let me guess. The rundown just ended.
Maybe, but that Buck was the first person in my messages today, outside of Maxwell, complimenting me on the Star Wars match questions. Because Buck is the man.
I don't think they should remake this film.
No.
Not this one, but if they were to remake Dead Poet Society,
Hmm.
him in the Robert Sean Leonard role.
Yeah. Wouldn't be
I mean,
bad.
he's probably in his mid-20s now, but still, he would be so good in that part.
Yeah. You know who I would have? I mean, he's too old now, but I'm imagining Jeff Daniels in the John Keating role.
Well, so my pitch is the guy who I saw play it off Broadway, Jason
Right.
Sudeikis,
Which I would
who
love.
was brilliant off Broadway, and I think would be perfect for the movie.
I would love that.
The way her dad says, "Oh fuck," it's just so perfect. That's
I
like
know.
such dad energy. Yeah, Buck, it's on Netflix.
Oh, thank you,
I
Sean.
really think if one is crafting a list of like the best mother-daughter relationships ever in film, this is in the top 10.
Yeah, this is absolutely in the top 10. Oh, Buck needs the time code. Shit, it's the Netflix one.
So there are 18 minutes and 10 seconds left. 1809 left, 1808 left, 1807 left. So whatever you need to do to figure that out.
Tower. Oh, dude, that theater, that whole area is so beautiful. But the Tower Theater in
That's
Tower
such a
Rock,
lovely shot.
the Crest
I mean,
Theater.
these shots are so great.
I bet Bruce Campbell at the Crest Theater.
This scene actually reminds me a little bit of the scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Just showing all the different lights.
Yeah.
So we've tried that a few times, Sean. We did make it work. It was just we could do it.
Out. Yeah,
It kept crashing, but we could try it. Yeah. You either pass or you don't pass. It's true. This is so sweet. This scene. I really thought Tracy Letts should have been nominated for an Oscar for this as well.
I don't disagree.
I think he got close. I think he got some other. That line is so. And you know he reunited with Greta because he's in Little Women as well.
Yep.
Tracy was great in Ford vs. Ferrari and The Post. He's in so many good movies. The Big Short.
Yep.
But he only really started acting in movies in about 2015. I mean, he did some stuff in the 90s, and then he took a long time off with theater and stuff. He's kind of a guy who, like Mark Rylance, who has done a lot of work in theater and is now having a lot of success in film later in life. This shot to me is iconic. Her up against the convenience store with the cigarette.
Oh, it's so good.
Here we go. If it's a big envelope, especially back then. They don't really do that anymore, from what I hear.
It's probably all digital at this point.
Yeah, I think it's like you're in, click the QR code.
So we just got a Streamlabs donation from one Mr. Brandon Buck, who said, just want to say I love this channel and everyone who is on it. Buck, I love you so much, dude.
Oh, you're the best, Buck. Thank you, buddy. Oh, I meant to say this earlier. With a high school set film, I love it when the teen character's bedroom has a really unique design or aesthetic, because that's such a teenage thing. And I think her room in this looks so great. Like the cool teenage bedroom.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Sean Wingblade said, I used to work as a valet downtown at Esquire Grill, and we'd park for the Crest Theater and IMAX.
The Crest area is super nice. That IMAX over there is one of the best IMAXs ever. It's a standalone IMAX theater. It's fucking dope. I've seen so many movies there.
That's awesome.
I miss it, man. Esquire IMAX. God damn, man. Sean, you're giving me member berries. Thank you, man.
So the fact that she doesn't come in to say goodbye, this whole thing, but she, so she kept trying to write Lady Bird a letter and she threw him out, but then her dad snatched him and put him in her. It's
it's
too
so
much. Good. It's too much. And this scene here, this to me is why the fact that she didn't win the Oscar was criminal. To me, some of the most impressive acting is facial acting.
Agreed.
And the way she silently carries this moment, just with the way her lips quiver, the look in her eyes, the way she's breathing is exquisite. And the way Greta and her DP just let the camera linger on her.
Yep.
Nothing fancy. It's just,
the airport. Oh man, so many times.
And now she's kind of circling around. This.
Oh, it's so good.
She's running in. Oh.
Can't tell you how many times I saw that taken off, man. Hey, and then to my favorite place.
Sam Witwicky. I don't know why he did that. Oh, New York City, my home sweet home.
My home away from home.
I was just in the NYU-ish area earlier.
Thanks for always sending me pictures when you're there. Makes me feel like I get to.
I got you.
Oh, man. Sean, you've got to watch this movie, dude. It's so good.
Oh, and then she found the letters, the drafts.
Well, and then just her on the phone with her dad.
Ugh.
Oh,
Buck says, when's the next Q&A?
It's got to be coming up.
Yeah.
Probably in the next week or so, Buck. This like existential conversation about God at a party.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
In that moment when she decides if she's going to introduce herself as Lady Bird or not.
Yeah.
You know, those first couple weeks of college, you can really make whatever of yourself you want to make.
Yeah. But they're the greatest. What's wrong with that is maybe one of the best lines ever.
And then he's like, I don't care. And he starts kissing her.
Yeah.
And she got sick. And she's being taken to the hospital. This look to me, the way her makeup is run down her face, is kind of iconic.
Yeah, 100%. And that music playing in the background of it and stuff, like, it really creates a very specific picture that I am a big fan of.
Yep. Greta as a filmmaker is, I think, just remarkable. Yeah. I hope she has a long, varied career.
I hope so too. I just think she's so highly talented, and I want to see her continue to do that. Like, what she does is special.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see what she does next. Who knows? This scene where she's just sort of walking.
Sunday.
That guy's in so many things.
Yeah, he is. I especially stuff based, I feel like, in the New York area. He might be a character actor.
And he's basically an extra in this.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly a religious person, but there's something about the fact that she decides to come to church towards the end here that
it's pretty beautiful, to be honest.
It is beautiful, yeah.
Like, I mean, I think you and I have both said it, at least I know I have on camera, is that I'm pretty atheist now. I grew up very religious, so, but there is something about this.
There's something about the church, the architecture, the way they're singing, there's beauty to it.
No, and it's, you know what other movie does that really, really well, actually, is Home Alone.
Yes, very much so.
Like, it's the same thing, Kevin going to the church.
I mean, like, in my travels around the world, some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen are churches, like the Gaudi churches in Barcelona.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, breathtaking.
It's pretty incredible, man.
So.
But I do love and the truth is I think because I also was. Oh, go ahead.
The way that her voicemail here and the writing for this is cut with these shots of Sacramento. Triumphant.
Yeah. To me, this is transcendent filmmaking. Because you can feel it. And again, it's a weird thing for me seeing it because I recognize these streets. I drove these streets. So there's something even more like personable that hits.
You had fights on these streets. You had sex on these streets. You ate food in these streets. You went to work in these streets.
Kind of like that.
But this is what I was saying earlier. Like, this movie, as much as it is a coming-of-age story and a mother-daughter story, it's a love letter to Sacramento.
Yeah.
And that shot there, cutting from her and her mom, just a smashed cut while they're both driving on the bridge.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
So good, man.
What a phone call.
And what an ending. What a perfect ending to this movie. Which, in my opinion...
I think the movie is perfect. I really do.
And easily one of the greatest of the last decade.
Like I said earlier, it's in my top 5 of the decade. Every time I see it, I love it more. I think it's incredible.
I mean, it's just remarkable filmmaking. Once again, Greta Gerwig came out swinging with her solo directorial debut. Saoirse Ronan, man, in this is just remarkable.
Exquisite performance from her and Laurie Metcalf and Tracy Letts.
There's just not enough I can say that's great about this movie, and we've sung its praises for years. But like, man, what a goddamn movie!
I love it so much. So much. As I do with so many A24 movies, for better or worse.
Yeah.
But look, that was Lady Bird, written and directed by Greta Gerwig. This, of course, was picked by our incredible executive producer, patron Ricardo Franco. I think you weren't hanging with us live tonight, Ricardo, but I hope when you do watch this back that you enjoy it and have fun. PJ, where can everyone find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at PJ_Campbell, and you can find me here hanging out with my friends at the PJCN, and of course, Maxwell. I write a show or something. I'm a head writer of Movie Trivia Schmodown, and you know what that means? Be nice to the writers. We're only human.
Be nice to the writers. A couple things we have coming up on the channel. Tomorrow afternoon, it's the first water cooler chat for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. PJ won't be there, but I will, with a couple other people, break it all down, talk about it. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to discuss it tomorrow. Then Sunday, and I'm so sad I'm not going to be here for this because it's Elizabeth's birthday. I'm excited to celebrate her birthday. I really want to talk about the Snyder Cut, which is why I said I think I'm going to write the first actual film review I've written in a couple of years. But on the Unwind, they will be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. And in my absence, David B. Music will be here alongside Andres Gallego, two people who I know and love and I think have great opinions, particularly about superheroes. Yeah. So that'll be awesome. And then Monday, Buck, I know you're in the chat, or you were. It's your night. We are doing a watch along of Wonder Woman by Patty Jenkins as Women Filmmaker Month continues. Of course, this was picked by our executive producer, Brandon Buckingham. And as I said at the top of the show, on Monday nights, Buck hosts a baseball podcast, which check out if you haven't. But as such, we will be starting 30 to 40 minutes later than normal. So that would be 7:30 to 7:40 Pacific, 10:30 to 10:40 Pacific. I'll keep an eye on Buck's show, and then when he's done, we'll head on over and watch Wonder Woman, which is on HBO Max, which is in my top 3 DCEU movies, and I am super jazzed to watch it.
Me too.
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Cinemaxwell, Instagram at Cinemaxwell Inc., and coming up soon, I am going to be competing in the first class league of the Schmodown. So as soon as I know when my first match is, I'll be sure to tell you guys, and be nice to us first classers. So it's not you, just you anymore, PJ, who gets to have something like that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging with us. We will see you tomorrow for the water cooler chat. Wear your masks. Stay safe.
Wear your fucking mask. Peace.